Martin. I like that dress. I saw it on Get Up. Looks very nice. Nautical.
Before we get into it, I want to say that I misspoke. It wasn't Andre Iguodala that I was talking about. It was somebody else in regards to Draymond Green and Golden State Warriors. Not Andre Iguodala. I made a mistake with that name. It wasn't him.
Okay.
All right, I got the player wrong. I apologize.
Okay.
All right.
You cleared it up.
Okay.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. I'm just wondering why you're in my seat. That's all. Yeah, that's how we're starting the show.
You know
that's
what?
How we starting the show.
You crossing the line now. You crossing the line now, okay? All right? Let me be very, very clear. I will say this, though. It's better for you to be sitting in this seat than Woody. I mean, it sank by about 3 feet when Woody was sitting in this chair. I'm just saying. He's a big boy, y'all. He's a big boy. He's an offensive lineman, okay? What are you looking at me like that for? I'm not knocking him, Biggie. I mean, Biggie the man.
Be nice.
You know, it's just he's a big boy. He know. He know.
I'm done with you.
I'm not knocking him.
Even started.
He looks good.
I'm going to talk to Christopher.
He looks good. He's just big.
Talk to Christopher.
Yeah, I want to talk to
Christopher. Got to say.
Yeah, Christopher. Will the Giants, my New York Football Giants, will they make the playoffs?
Yeah, they're going to.
Yes.
They're going to.
Talk dirty, baby. Let's go.
First off, just do the math.
Right.
Find me 7 teams in the NFC. There's 7 teams that get in. I mean, Detroit's terrible. The Bears are bad. I mean, Arizona, Seattle. I mean, Carolina and Atlanta. I mean, somebody's got to make it. And they've already won 4 games. That's number 1. Number 2, that coach is good. That Dable is a good coach.
Got it right.
And the GM, give him credit. He brought him in there. That coach is good. That's number 2. And number 3, look at their schedule. I just did top of my head. Yeah. They've won 4 games, right, Kim? Yeah. They've won 1. They got the Lions. They have Washington twice.
Okay.
They have Houston, and they have Jacksonville.
Jacksonville's.
They can't win 4 of those games? That's 8 wins.
Yeah.
You win 1 more, you're going to be in the playoffs. Philly twice, at Dallas. I mean, that schedule at Seattle.
You're getting Molly very excited right now.
That schedule is possible.
I'm actually thinking of Stephen A. because I said we should do a first take show from East Rutherford, and he laughed in my face that no one cares about the Giants. But that was in the back of my mind.
That ain't right.
Keep going, doggy.
So I think that's a result. They can get the 9 wins. I think they can make the postseason. 3 in the NFC East.
No. I'm the way. Go ahead.
Go ahead, big time.
No, it ain't going no damn playoff.
Oh,
what?
you know.
And let me say this. Let me say this, okay? I'm New York always. I root for New York first.
Could have fooled me.
Okay? Even though I'm a Steelers fan, you know, I got my team. That's the exception.
The way you started,
Steelers, Alabama, but I'm New York.
No, in other words, I never
Steelers.
root against the New York teams. I call it like I see it, but I never root against the New York teams. All right? But the reality of the situation is Giants don't particularly move you. I'm not going to take to no MetLife Stadium. Who's going to shut up 5 people near the swamp in East Rutherford, New Jersey? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Giants don't deserve that. Dable's my coach of the year. He's fantastic. And I love what I'm seeing from him. I'm very proud of the job he's doing. I love the hire, okay? But your quarterback's not the number 1. He's not really a number 1 quarterback.
Better, though.
He's not. Whatever.
Great last week.
Listen, what you're doing is you're keeping him away from areas where he'll make mistakes. Okay. A manager. Okay. But he's not that dude. You got Saquon Barkley, who's a stud. You don't have a number 1 receiver. Your offensive line ain't that great. I'm just looking at the New York Giants right now, and I think they're a respectable team, and they're on the way up. And I think the future is looking bright. Y'all got a lot to be proud of. But I don't see 3 teams coming out of the NFC East. And I think it's going to be Philadelphia and Dallas coming out of the East. That's just where I'm at with it, okay? I jumped off the bandwagon for a second with Dallas once Dak went down. But obviously Cooper Rush has helped offset his loss. So the Dallas Cowboys are a better team. And I think that the Philadelphia Eagles are definitely a better team. And I don't see 3 teams coming out of the NFC East. That's my issue.
So, mathematically, you cannot say at this point that they won't make the playoffs.
Yeah, we ain't talking mathematics. We talk about what you feel.
We've been talking about mathematics the whole show.
We're talking mathematics because the numbers show that they're 4-1.
Okay.
And the fact that in that division, last year they were 1-5 in the division against division opponents. They've lost already to one division opponent, but the key to me is that they play Washington twice. They still got to play the other 2 teams, but playing Washington twice, I think sets up very well for them. I think them going to London and beating Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, that to me was a statement game because nobody thought that the Giants would actually win. And when you have a young coach, a new coach, and when you just see this team believes in itself, like that to me is the difference. Like we had Shermer in here, you had Joe Judge, you had all these guys in here, McAdoo in here, And in 5 games, Brian Daboll has made everybody a believer in the New York Giants except for Stephen A., who's all New York all the time, except when he roots for the Steelers.
I'm not. Hey, listen, he has turned it around. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
But here,
I think they don't have a winning record.
Thinking about the NFC East, like it'd just be the Eagles and the Cowboys show, and it's not. You got to include the Giants because the numbers dictate that you got to include the Giants, and because.
Well, don't they have another game against Dallas?
Okay.
Don't they have 2 against Philadelphia?
Don't they have 2 against Washington?
I said, well,
aren't they going to play the
Washington's like a bye week. We're going to give them those 2 victories.
You know what I'm
We're
saying?
going to give them those 2 victories.
But the reason I bring up the math is because who else are you putting ahead of them?
I just told you.
In the entire NFC.
Yeah,
okay,
NFC, not just
that's
the
is that a rhetorical question, or do I get to answer? Because I know you used to being a boss. I know you used to being a boss. Do I get to answer the question, or is it rhetorical?
Go ahead.
Okay, I got Philadelphia and Dallas. Obviously, you got some team from the NFC North that's I think it's going to be the Packers.
Right.
We got to throw the Vikings up in there, okay? So that's 4. We got Tampa Bay. That's 5. We got San Francisco. That's 6. I know Arizona.
Stop it.
And the Los Angeles Rams. Listen, I understand
No.
they're struggling a little bit, but I think that when you have teams that have requisite weapons where a play or 2 can determine a game, I'm looking at the New York Giants, and I just say, without Saquon Barkley, what do I really have to worry about?
4-1, even though they're missing a lot of wide receivers and they're missing talent, they're still 4-1.
We've seen plenty of teams fall apart after the season progresses, after the first 5 weeks or so. That is definitely common in the National Football League, and as an extraordinary reporter, in which you have been for years, you know that is true.
All right, Doggy has them going to the playoffs.
Yeah,
That's
7th seed.
That's what matters.
7th seed.
I know the Giants
just
don't
sit
win
there
you.
betting, you know.
Arizona.
You're
Doggy betting in Vegas, losing every week.
I've been losing. I've been getting killed.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what he's got.
I can't believe you bet.
Well, I gotta keep it up with him. I gotta stay into it. That helps me.
Oh, I wouldn't even bet $1.
I don't bet it.
I don't
hang
go
on to
crazy.
everything.
I don't bet his money,
spend
but
my
I
my
don't.
money in
on
my
more valuable
pocket.
things. You
Like
know.
that.
Please
that
never
tie.
say that in that voice
tie.
again. Just say it normally. Like I spend my money on more
right.
valuable things.
Okay.
All right, coming up. Essay.
I'm still worried about those chances. I mean, I appreciate the fact that Garrett Cole showed up last night and did his thing. H to the Rizzo handling his business with that 2-run shot. That was a beautiful thing. But Houston is the impediment. Alvarez, that to me, he stole the night with that walk-off slam. I mean, with that walk-off 3-run shot. That was spectacular. Houston has been the Achilles heel for the New York Yankees. The road to the World Series has to go through the Astros. And as far as I'm concerned, I expect them to beat the Guardians. I want to see what they do against the Astros. It's about the World Series. We ain't been back since 2009. That's what I want.
100%. The Guardians, Steve and I can be in that lineup. They are the worst offensive team I have ever seen. They stink. They can't hit. So I don't want to make a big deal about Garrett Cole because that team is a bad offensive team. Anyway, I apologize.
It's okay. Don't apologize. Speaking of New York, how about them Giants knocking off Aaron Rodgers, that bad man?